race of this 2015 campaign, and it's Jack Walker-Tully on pole position. Alongside him on the front row is Aaron Mason, who's second in the championship standings. Pulling off there is Bobby Thompson at the side of the circuit, so problems for the team hard driver. Are we going to get a delayed start now because of that? I fear we may do, but we'll wait and see what the race officials decide. But the 18-year-old who's had Formula Ford and Fiesta outings is not going to take the start, but it looks like we are going to take the start as the red lights come on here at Silverstone and the racing gets underway, and it's a slow start from Walker-Tully. Aaron Mason takes the lead. David Sutton rockets through to take second place away as they come down towards the first corner. Everybody swinging in, hopefully safely. Looks as though Bobby Thompson got going again, but everyone makes it through Copse without too much drama. Who's in the lead of the race? It is Sutton. So David Sutton's got through from third on the grid into the lead of the race. Aaron Mason's in second place, so our championship leaders are first and second now on the grid. Jack Walker-Tully drops down towards third position. Someone going straight on there at Maggots and Beckett's just cut straight across. I didn't quite catch who that was, but there's Bobby Thompson. His father, Paul, races in Legends. But a great start from third on the grid for David Sutton to take the lead of the race away.
Yeah, that's a real shame there that you'd just be pulled over before the start, but everyone got away cleanly, apart from obviously the cars that have gone by the wayside and broken down on the formation lap. But yeah, great start on board now, coming into Vale. Down the gears, normal H-pattern gearbox on this, none of the sequential stuff on these cars. These are proper hardcore converted road cars as they were. So on board with Phil House, using the clutch, having to, because it's a normal gearbox, but all stripped out, proper race mods on the car, slick tyres, up into fifth gear, as you've got the rest of the pack fighting for position, trying to get their best spot on the first lap of the Grand Prix circuit here at Silverstone.
That was Chris Paniato, I think, involved in that fight as they now come down towards the right-hand hairpin at Village. But a great start from David Sutton, the championship leader, to move into the lead of the race. There's Graham Ewing trying to force a move up the inside as he sticks his nose up the inside. Looks as though he won't quite be able to get through. And that position is held by Darrell Wilson. But out they come, down the straight once again. Darting moves further back, but up the front it's fairly line astern at the moment. Aaron Mason, though, in second place, has set the fastest middle sector of anyone. Very, very deep in there from Chris Paniato. He's got Joe Fulbrook up behind him, so just trying to figure out if Fulbrook has dropped back or Paniato's made a great start. Across the line they come, Suttoning the way, then Mason, Walker-Tully, House. Then Paniato has made a great start. Yeah. He's up into fifth place from ninth on the grid. Joe Fulbrook in sixth, Lucas Orrock seventh. Then Wicks, Wilson and Ewing completing the top 10. But there's just 0.4 of a second between Sutton and Mason up at the front. And Walker-Tully in there as well. And then Phil House. So the top four have made a bit of a break from Paniato in fifth place.
Yeah, Paniato, great start there as another car. That's Deaton, I believe.
Yeah.
Simon Deaton, bless him. Used to do a bit with Time Attack with him over the years, so I know him quite well. That's a real shame for him. I know he puts a lot of heart and soul into his motorsport, so he'll be absolutely gutted with that. So hopefully he can get it back out for the race or back out for the next round.
Worst comes to worst, he's a scrap metal dealer, so
I didn't want to say that.
This is the battle for second position then. Aaron Mason in the red and white Scirocco doing battle with the black and green car of Jack Walker-Tully. And watching all of this is Phil House, who we're on board with.
On board with, yeah. So coming out of Vale, into Club, over the curb. Running wide, into fourth, flat to the floor through here. Not running too wide, don't want to lose time or get a penalty for exceeding track limits. Up into fifth. It's going to be a dab of the brakes. Back on the power again. Really, really smooth bit of driving there from all three of these drivers, which is only these guys, the more they squabble, the more it's going to let Sutton get away. Big lock up there, yeah.
With fighting, really dealing with it, wasn't
fighting the wheel there, yeah. These cars, that you try and set them up so they're really lively on the back end, but you've really got to keep your wits about you and be prepared for fighting the car, even if that was one of the slowest parts of the circuit. Flat to the floor again. trying to get into the slipstream of the car in front, so it creates a pocket of air for you to just pull along and overtake the car in front. If only it was that easy.
Someone running wide in the background there. Didn't quite catch who it was. There's the look up the inside from Aaron Mason's. Oh, he's been nudged there a little bit by Jack Walker-Tully. Manages to keep hold of it just about. That could allow Phil House through on the inside line to get past Walker-Tully. He could get past both of them as he comes through Luffield. And Phil House is going to be up into second place. Not quite. Mason managed to keep more speed up coming around the outside, but he's definitely past Walker-Tully.
Don't forget to change gear. Got your engine revs. It's really easy to watch your competitors that you're trying to fight with and then miss your gear because you're so busy thinking what they're doing. But yeah, he's got the move. He gained one from that anyway, but that was a great bit of car control from the opening from those three.
David Sutton, meanwhile, is romping clear up at the front and is looking like he's going to take his 4th victory of the season. We've still got 14 minutes to go, but he's got a 2-second advantage up at the front over these battling trio. There is Sutton, and then it's Mason in second position.
House having a look at the outside now, on the inside, getting blocked. Is there enough room? No, not possibly, but these two are going to fall over themselves, giving Walker-Tully chance to get back. Here we are in the action, in the actual car. So Phil House was 3rd. We've now dropped back down to 4th again, or are we? No, we're 3rd again now. No, we're definitely 4th. We're definitely 4th again. So he's right. I'll let you have the benefit of the doubt there, but he's really quick through here. Quick gear change. It was a nice smooth gear change. Good traction on the exit.
Now up into
dab of the brakes. And then through they go, and as you can see, the external shot tied together. Can Phil do a late lunge on the brakes? Last of the late breakers. Oh, as I was saying, can he hear us? Okay, don't lock up, Phil. Don't lock up. Keep your tyres immaculately round rather than looking like a 50p piece. When you keep locking them up, it will start to cause vibration through the car. It's not very comfortable for the next 13 minutes having your tyres de-shaped because of late braking and out-braking yourself. The last thing you need.
Great little squabble though going on here for 2nd place. Aaron Mason, the 2013 champion. He actually had the most wins of anyone in 2014, but lost out on the title to Joe Fulbrook, who is currently running down in 8th place, so he's dropped back a little bit to Joe Fulbrook. It really can't get it together with that golf in the dry conditions so far this season, Fulbrook.
Look how close they all are. You know, this is proper saloon driving at its best. They're all respecting each other. Okay, there's still 13 minutes, just under 30 minutes remaining, so anything can happen. They might get a little bit more boisterous and a bit more aggressive as it goes on, but seems to lose out a little bit of time at Woodcote there, but gains it back through some of the high-speed corners, so he's on a right mission.
Through Copse on lap 4 now. David Sutton set the fastest lap of the race on that previous tour, but Mason did set the fastest final sector of anyone. So he's having to work really hard to keep these guys behind. A little bit out of sync in the Beckett's and Maggots complex, and as a result he ends up going a bit wide coming out onto the Hanger Straight.
There was definite contact there. Definitely there would have been a bit of pushing and shoving there, but all innocent. A bit of a love touch to say, right, I'm behind you.
Phil House
get out my way.
Phil House looking to try and find a way through. He's in 4th place at the moment, but he's got a very good run through Stowe. But he's going to be on the outside line for the run down into Vale. But
we've seen it happen. We've seen that move stick so many times today, but not this time.
Tries to pick up the throttle as early as possible, but then had to get off it in the middle of club. Aaron Mason's just pulled out a bit of a breathing cushion, if that's a thing.
But in his mirrors, he will just be seeing green, black, and silver. He, in his mirrors, for us watching on telly, it looks a long way away. But actually, when he's in the car, or he's so low down, encased in that racing seat and roll cage of the race car, that's all he will see is literally Sirocco filling his mirrors. VW
into the loop, and Aaron Mason holding on to this position at the moment. He was 3rd in his debut season in the VW Racing Cup back in 2009. The 35-year-old from Doncaster in the AWM Scirocco. Now, will he feel the need to go defensive? Bit of flappage going on the side of Walker Tully's car.
That's just the window, just a bit of the window, the Perspex window, just flapping, because as he's got so close to the car in front, that's created a bit of a vortex.
Phil House trying to look up the inside. He's not quite close enough. I thought he'd had an overlap there for a moment, but it's Mason who holds on to second place. Walker Tully third, House fourth.
House got a really good runner there. Sorry, Jack, interrupting you there. I'm just getting excited. I just know Phil. I used to be one of my mechanics at Bincliffe when I was Clio, so he's a good friend, but also good to see him doing well. He wants another podium, I'm sure, this weekend. So great racing from these three. Lots of respect. Very, very clean and tidy racing so far. Just under 10 minutes remaining. Who is it going to be that gets the highest spot on the podium out of these three? They're fighting for second. Unless Sutter makes an obvious basic mistake, these guys can very easily clean up. Unless they trip over themselves and make a mistake themselves, it can easily happen.
Chris Paniatu is still running in 5th position, 3 seconds back from this battle. There he is, coming out of Chapel. Lucas Orrick is then behind him, with Thomas Witts and Fulbrook behind, as House now tries to look to the inside line. They're fanning out either side of Aaron Mason. Walker Tully looking to the outside line at Stowe. Doesn't quite manage to put it off. He's going to end up on the grass there if he's not careful. He's so desperate to get that inside line coming down into Vale, and I think he might have it. Through goes Walker Tully, up into second position. That was a long time coming. A lot of work went into it, and he just managed to find that crucial inside line. Oh, there's going to be a touch there as they come to the second part of club. Walker Tully keeps it together, but I'm sure Mason nudged him a little bit, and that could give House an opportunity on the run up into Abbey. Not quite close enough, but I'm sure there was a bit of a nudge.
There was definitely a nudge there, and that's the last thing you want to do at Club Corner.
So 8.5 minutes to go here at Silverstone. So Aaron Mason, who's running now in 3rd place, having just been demoted by Jack Walker Tully, will be very keen to try and get back past, but Walker Tully's sort of off already, isn't he? And Phil House is the man on the attack. You
can see Mason's front end there, from trying to get back that move, get back that place, is slightly skew-whiffed. The bumper's slightly out of shape. Shouldn't be affecting the handling of the car whatsoever, but it's not ideal, obviously. So House there, ready, hungry to take that position and maybe get another podium. He's definitely got the pace as he shows his nose up on the inside there of Woodcote. Hasn't quite got the exit speed there. A nice quick slick gear change on our onboard camera again. Clipping the curbs at Woodcote, past our commentary box, which is on the left-hand side, past the start-finish line. All the pit crew hanging their pit boards out to you, telling you what well you're doing, what lap time you've done. You know where you are on the track. All you're trying to do is just basically have a look, just a glance across to see if you can gain any other information from the other pit boards. House weaving left and right into Maggots, now into Beckett's. Walker Tully definitely has broken away from these two, haven't they? They're sort of falling over themselves. House using the road and the curb and everything else he can to take the shortest line possible. I reckon we're going to see a move at the end of the straight. He's going to try and sell the dummy on the hanger straight, but not quite able to. He's weaving all around the back of Aaron Mason's car. This is the battle for 3rd position in round 8 of the Miltech Sport Volkswagen Racing Cup. Here we go. Oh, sends it to the outside at Stowe Corner. Not quite going to work out there. He's very, very quick through here. And now the dummy to the inside from House. He's going to have to be late on the brakes. Not quite enough. This is good racing. This is great and really good onboard footage as well from these three. He's going to show up the inside into club. Really does that. It's a great bit of circuit there, and the fact that it just allows people from the slow part of the circuit to still gain a position there on the inside of that demanding club corner. No, it certainly has made it a better corner from when they took it from sort of one long looping corner to 2 apices down into the hairpin, and now Walker Tully's under a lot of pressure. There's going to be a nudge there, isn't there? Yeah, definite nudge. Incredibly close between them, so Walker Tully in 2nd place looked to have had an advantage, but House is the man to watch it because he's got a great run out. Not quite, didn't get on the throttle quick enough there, so couldn't quite get the cutback, but these three are getting quite impatient now. They're getting aggressive. They're now starting to sort of push and batter their way through each other to try and get that position. Certainly are. Down towards Brooklands once again. Jack Walker Tully in 2nd place. Oh, and then we've got a car stopped off there. It's off the circuit though, because it's inside the coned area, so that's good.
I can't quite make out
who it was. No.
But 5.5 minutes to go in this battle for second place. On that last lap, race leader David Sutton didn't set the fastest lap of the race. He was a couple of tenths shy of it. So maybe he's just easing off a tiny bit. But he's got a 3.1 second advantage now. Walker Tully has sort of regained himself a little bit and got himself back together. We think it was Pete Littler off at the side of the circuit, the former rally winner.
House now on the outside. Sorry, Jack. House around the outside of Maggots and Beckett. He's got to be brave here to let it stick. If he keeps his nerve. Oh, he can't quite keep it there around the outside. Can he do the cutback? Get the run on the throttle now. Yes, we've got a good run now. It's just about where the guy in front forces you. Does he force you around the outside? But we've got great momentum here. We're now level with the car. We're now past the car. But we now are on the outside of the Stowe corner that we've seen lots of awesome overtaking manoeuvres around this corner. Phil can't quite do it, but he's sold him a dummy. Up on the inside. Very good driving from Mason, making that red and white car in front annoyingly wide.
Yeah. Great drive from the Scirocco racer, the AWM Scirocco.
Early on the throttle, you can hear the engine there.
And has he got the cutback again, coming into the second part of club?
It's going to end it too. No, it's not. That gave him a lot of room.
But this is going to be interesting now, because House has got a bit of an overlap on the run up towards Abbey, one of the fastest corners on the circuit. He's got a great run, and House is going to be through into third place as he turns it in.
Oh, we're still on the left.
Oh, goodness me. Mason
amazing.
Is doing everything he can to keep Phil House behind him.
Oh, Phil House doing a great job. He's not giving up. But Mason, wow, what a great comeback there. I thought we got it.
House
Come on,
trying to cut back again. We'd love to show you what else is going on out there, but really this is the best of it, and it's brilliant stuff.
This is saloon racing at its best. It's clean, it's tidy, there's a little bit of touching now and again, but not aggressive, firing each other off, and great onboard noise, camera footage, visual of the driver's arms working away at the wheel. House showing a little bit up the inside there into Brooklands, can't quite do it, but he's very quick on the second part, the other sort of part of the circuit from sort of Copse going round.
And he's gone for the inside line here, trying to get past Mason. Mason's gone very, very wide out of Luffield. Will he keep it on the road? I don't know if he will, because Phil House is going to come through.
Got it.
They're still side by side, but with 3 minutes to go now across the line, House surely has his third place. He's less than half a tenth of a second clear. Here comes Mason on the outside. Surely now House can get that job done into Copse corner.
This is brilliant stuff. I feel like I'm in the car with him. This is great onboard stuff. Is he still on the left? I can't quite see. No, he's not. We've done the move. Yes. Phew. Breathe, relax, and now crack on and try and chase the second place man.
Right. So after 18 minutes of that, what else have we got in the last in the last 2.5? Jack Walker Tully has set a personal best on that previous lap. A very quick lap as well, actually, to take 7/10 of a second out of the race leader, David Sutton, but I don't think that's quite going to be enough. Now here's the battle further back between Lucas Orrock, Joe Fulbrook and Tom Witts. This is all over 6th position. It's the Scirocco white, black and red of Lucas Orrock, the Golf of Joe Fulbrook, and around the outside is going the green Scirocco of Tom Witts. Not quite able to pull that one off, but Lucas Orrock holding on to this 6th place at the moment. The man who's 4th in the championship, 2-time British kart GP winner. And there's the move. Well, not quite. Fulbrook is still in 7th position with Witts still in 8th. A minute and a half to go, so I think we're on the penultimate lap of the race. Maybe I didn't quite see when they went across the line. I think it'll be the penultimate lap, as they weave now down towards the hairpin at Village. Oh, someone having a big lock-up by the sounds of it. Oh, that's forceful from Fulbrook, and he sends Lucas Orrock spinning. That's a little bit rude. That was a little bit rude,
but if Orrock could have just kept his foot in, being a front-wheel drive car, that would have pulled him out of the slide. He could have probably just about saved that, but he didn't. He braked, but it happened so quickly. What a bit of an aggressive move. Bit naughty, that.
I mean, he was reasonably...
He had a lot more momentum, I think, than he needed, and he used the Scirocco to slow down. But Fulbrook, experienced driver,
Oh, and now he's
Is he going to get payback?
Yeah, exactly.
Sirocco votes golf again. Right, I'll get you back.
Yeah, exactly. Tom Witts in the green Scirocco, who is now, so they're now up to the battle for 6th position. So Fulbrook in 6th, 7th for Witts. Aaron Mason set the fastest final sector of anyone on that last lap, so he's only 0.3 of a second behind Phil House in the battle for 3rd place. So just when we thought that was over, but we are now on to the final lap of the race and the final lap of the day here at the British GT race day.
Orrick didn't actually lose that much. Okay, he lost the place that they were fighting with, but he actually only lost just those two with Fulbrook. And then you've got Fuller there from the back of the grid up to 9th. So Fulbrook is actually behind Orrick, which we just saw get tagged a little bit by Fulbrook just a second ago on our replay. So can Howard do it? Can Fuller do it? I don't know. We'll see. At the back of the shot there, we've got the squabble that we saw. There's Fuller at the very back there, the white and green car. Can he make it up to 7th?
And also in 10th place now is Michael Epps, that lone car in the background. He started 29th on the grid, so good drive from Michael Epps to climb up into the top 10. And here comes Joel Fulbrook again on the attack, trying to find a way. And sorry, well, it's Witts in front now, isn't it? It's Witts in front of Fulbrook for 6th position. So Joe Fulbrook will be desperate to try and get back through after winning the first race of the day here at Silverstone. 6th is the best he can manage this time around, but will it be 6th or 7th? He's in the white and blue Golf, car number 1. As they come towards the hairpin for the final time. Doesn't look like he's going to be close enough unless he can do something really impressive coming down into Brooklands. Out through Aintree they come, through the left-hand flick and on to the Wellington Straight for the final time. Here though is our race leader, David Sutton. Started 3rd on the grid, managed to take the lead of the race almost instantly. And the 25-year-old from Rotherham is going to extend his championship lead here at Silverstone. A commanding win in round 8 of the Miltech Sport Volkswagen Racing Cup for David Sutton. 2nd across the line is Jack Walker-Tully. Phil House, fastest lap of the race on that final lap to take 3rd place. And look, it's going to just about be Tom Witts across the line to hold on to 6th place.
And Fuller and Orrick, just looking at the commentary box, Fuller's done it on the inside of Luffield to take another position on the last lap of the last corner. So fair play to Fuller coming from the back of the grid.
Yep, impressive stuff there. Michael Epps is going to finish in 10th place. This is the battle over 12th position. It looks as though Graham Ewing is going to hold on ahead of Simon Rudd as they come across the line. And it's victory then for David Sutton. A wonderful performance from him. He wins and extends his championship advantage in the Miltech Sport Volkswagen Racing Cup. And well, thank you very much for joining us on this British GT Live race day. And the next race for the British GT will be at Spa-Francorchamps, but we'll be back live at Brands Hatch. Here's the top 10 after an entertaining round 8 of the Miltech Sport Volkswagen Racing Cup. Sutton, Walker-Tully and Phil House the top 3, from Jenny Gow, Claire Cottingham, Charlie Butler-Henderson and myself, Jack Nichols. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time at Brands.